welcome back to another Walking Dead trading card video. This time we're back at it again with the Walking Dead Season 1 complete set of their trading cards. And hell, let's just hop right into it. On the first card we have the checklist, and it shows, 1 through 40 on the front, and then 41 through 81. So in total there's 81 cards, so I guess technically 80, but 81 if you count the checklist. So starting off with the characters, because it starts off with characters first. Hang on, I'm gonna have to break this shit in half and just kind of do it like this, because this is a big ass stack for my hands. But we have Rick. Hang on. Whoop. We have Rick Grimes, and then the back will tell you some stuff about him. Rick Grimes is a sheriff in a small Georgia town when the zombie apocalypse occurs. Which is funny because in the comics he's from fucking Kentucky or some shit. But next up is Lori Grimes, the wife of Rick Grimes. Let's see here. Believing that her husband Rick is dead, Lori takes her son Carl and joins Rick's best friend Shane on a journey towards Atlanta in search of supplies. A fiercely protective mother, she is desperate to keep her son safe as society crumbles around them. We have my boy Coral Grimes. Carl and his mom Lori flee their small town with Shane. It's hard for this all-American boy to adjust to the life of a changed world, especially when coming to terms with the fact he may never see his father again. That is true. Let's see here. For this one we have Shane Walsh. Shane was the last to see Rick in the hospital and is tortured by his decision to leave him there. He also knows that leaving Rick behind is the only way to save Lori and Carl. Having always lived in Rick's shadow, Shane enjoys his newfound leadership role until Rick's return to challenge of his authority. Let's see here. We have Andrea. Did it ever say what Andrea's last name was, now that I think about it? I actually can't remember if it ever told us what Andrea's last name was. Hell, I don't even know. Successful civil rights attorney from Florida, Andrea found herself stranded in Atlanta with her sister Amy when the apocalypse began. Dell rescued them, and they had been living together in the camp with the rest of the survivors. Dell. I liked Dell. Dell was pretty fucking cool. Dell is wise, sometimes profound. Hang on, let me go see what the fuck they're working at. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Dell was a wise, sometimes profound, and respected elder of the group. He is not afraid to speak his mind and call others out for mistakes and judgment. Dell keeps a close eye on the ever-changing dynamics of the group. Oh my god, I just checked. There was no one there. They're just barking at cars. God. Oh, hell, fucking hang on. Alright, up next we got my boy Glenn. I fucking love Glenn, honestly. Hell, he was a good-ass character. Let's see here. Glenn contributes to the group's survival with his keen instincts and intimate knowledge of Atlanta streets. He scavenges for supplies despite the horror around him. Glenn maintains a youthful enthusiasm for life and his unexpected pleasures. Yeah, he's what? He's like 22 when the show starts or some shit, or supposed to be anyway. Fucking. Alright, so this starts the scenes. So we have frustrated lawmen. And it's Shane with the cop car. Ever since high school, Shane Walsh has lived in the shadow of his partner and best friend, Rick. That's just some petty shit. Dedicated lawman. You have Rick Grimes. He's the dedicated lawman. Before the apocalypse, Rick and Shane dedicated their lives to upholding the law and protecting society. Fateful decision. This is when he had to leave, old boy. Shane tries to save a comatose Rick from the hospital, but it is overrun by walkers, and they must choose to either save Rick or Lori and Carl. So he chooses to save both, technically, because he put the damn hospital bed in front of the door and shit, so they wouldn't fuck with him and shit, or get to him and shit. Rude awakening. After a shootout leaves Rick in a coma, he wakes up to find himself in a terrifying new world. I remember watching the first episode of Walking Dead when it came out. That shit was fucking fire as hell. Like, I liked it. Like, I fucking loved it. Like, granted, the later seasons kind of fell off and shit, but fucking For the most part, though, when this shit was coming out and I was watching it like every fucking Sunday and shit, it was fucking nice. So fucking see here what happened. You don't open dead inside. Groggy and confused, Rick wanders through the hospital searching for signs of life, only to discover an anonymous warning. Don't open. Yeah, that is a very anonymous warning. Rick catches his first glimpse of the terrifying world that awaits him outside. So now we have carnage. Let's see here. Rick is stunned and mystified by the sight of bodies lined up outside the hospital. Finally home. Yeah, so he finally got home and shit. Rick finally makes it home, but finds his wife and son are missing along with the family photos. Friendly survivors. This is Morgan and his son Dwayne. Even though Dwayne ain't in the picture yet, but Morgan and his son Dwayne cautiously take in Rick, nurse him back to health, and tell him the truth about the walkers. Batter up. So they're teaching Rick that he has to fucking aim for the head and shit. Morgan teaches Rick the finer points of quickly and quietly dealing with walkers. He also points out that they are easy to deal with one-on-one, but can become overwhelming in a horde. Well, yeah, I mean, that's because then it becomes like fucking 1-on-55. Morgan, protective father. Yeah, because Morgan's wife got bit and shit. After his wife Jenny becomes a walker, Morgan must concentrate on protecting his son. Friendly advice. So he's giving Rick some friendly advice. They may not seem like much one at a time, but in a group they're all riled up and hungry. Man, you watch your ass. Yeah, and Rick takes them to the police station, gives them guns and shit, scrounging for weapons. Morgan and Rick decide to visit Rick's old police station in search of supplies and ammunition. Back in uniform, Rick puts back on his little cop uniform. Morgan isn't ready to join Rick in Atlanta, so he and Rick set up a system to communicate each day at dawn on the police radios. Rick out of gas, so he ran out of gas, so he's looking around for some gas. Rick only gets so far in his squad car before it runs out of gas, pushing him to find fuel in a hurry, which he does not find. Yeah, God forgive us. He found a couple who blew their fucking brains out. Some decide to take their own life instead of trying to survive in a world overrun by the Walking Dead. Rick's will to live is driven by the hope of finding his family. Which, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Fucking, that's a strong enough will. No gas required. It's a horse. Fucking, I love that. Given the current situation, a horse seems more like a more practical mode of transportation. Unfettered lawman. Rick remains focused on Atlanta and reuniting with his family in spite of tragedy unfolding around him. Welcome to Atlanta. So he just arrived with a horse and he ain't found nobody, so he follows the helicopter and shit and gets fucked for it. Rick rides into Atlanta. He discovers the streets appear to be deserted. There's no immediate sign of walkers or survivors. That should have been a sign in of itself. A city that damn big and there ain't no walkers around and you just gonna casually walk around like, nah. I think I'd have stopped and asked myself, hey, there's got to be something here, Because, like, fuck that shit. There would be no way in hell I'm just going to ride around and act like nothing's wrong. Like, nah, fuck that. Not a good sign. It quickly becomes obvious that the government and security forces responsible to the response to the invasion was not a success. Well, hell no, when they bombed the motherfucking city. It wasn't even a good response and shit. Rookie mistake. So yeah, then he locks himself into the fucking tank. And he would have died if not for Glenn. Unskilled in the art of evading walkers, Rick ends up in a tight spot and is thrown from his horse. He narrowly escapes by climbing into an armored tank. And then the famous "Hey dumbass," Glenn to the rescue. Oop. Formerly a pizza delivery man, Glenn knows the city streets inside and out, making him the ideal candidate to scrounge for food, medical equipment, and more. Narrow escape. With the help of Glenn, Rick escapes the tank by climbing up the fire escape of a nearby department store, but the walkers are not far behind. Trapped. So yeah, this is where they got trapped in that little fucking mall. As the department store is swarmed with walkers, Rick learns the hard way that they are attracted to loud noises. Oh yeah, because he was shooting fucking... He shot like, what, 2 or 3 shots off and shit? Drastic measures. Oh yeah, where they put on the fucking clothes, yeah. The survivors hatch a plan to disguise their human scent with the blood of guts and disemboweled walkers. This was like the first time they did that shit and didn't even know if it would fucking work, wasn't it? Like, they actually had no... They had no idea if that shit would even work. They just had to hope it would and try it. Disguised as walkers. Rick and Glenn covered their scent with rotting guts of one of the Walking Dead to avoid detection as they retrieve their escape vehicle. Diversion. So yeah, he hijacked that little fucking Charger and it's like the alarms blaring and shit. Glenn uses stolen sports car as walker bait, giving Rick time to save the others from the surrounded department store. Someone's at the door. Damn. The safety of the survivors temporarily holed up in the department store is threatened by the walkers that are ready to break through at any moment. Stranded. Oh yeah, they left Merle up on the fucking rooftop. That's fucking funny as hell. Rick handcuffed the volatile and dangerous Merle to the roof. When the keys are accidentally lost down the storm drain, Merle becomes desperate to escape, which entailed he cut off his own fucking arm just so he would not die. Which honestly, I can't say I blame the man. But fucking, we have the base camp. The base camp is high in the mountains and far away from the city, providing the survivors sanctuary from the walkers, at least for now. I feel like a mountain, hypothetically, depending on where you made it at, would be good. But if it's just like a straight shot from the ground up and there's no like curves and shit, then like I feel like it's kind of a fucked up place, because if a bunch of them come up at once, you're fucked. You can't get down. You know? So fucking that's why it never made sense to me. But like if you got like a mountain, like in, you know, you made you like a little base that you had to climb up, like a fucking steep little rock wall or some shit, like you made you a ladder or something, then like maybe that would work. But I feel like just in general, a mountain would not be fucking good. Joyride, there's Shane and Amy. And then Shane had to take out the fucking whatever the fuck it was to stop the battery from to stop the car from fucking beeping. Glenn returns to the group in a stolen sports car. He barely made it out of Atlanta alive, but he made the most of his joyride back to camp. Fucking yeah, oh yeah, I forgot he had so much fun driving that goddamn car. Reunited, yeah. Rick, Lori, Dale, Carl, Glenn. Glenn's like, shit, that's your family. Fucking. When Rick leads the group of survivors out of the department store in Atlanta, little does he know his own family and Shane are living at the camp. And it was such a sad scene. He's like, Dad. And everybody shook. Fucking, that's my deer. So, Rick, and then fucking Shane, wasn't it? And then Daryl shot the deer and shit, but that walker got to it first. Daryl manages to shoot a deer that would provide fresh meat for the group, but is quickly poached by a walker, taking the meat. Can't let a man die. You can't let a man die. Oh yeah, because they were going to go back for Merle. In spite of having reunited with his family, Rick decides to go back for Merle. The guns and the walkie-talkie he dropped when the walkers took down his horse. Oh yeah, he did drop a bag of guns. Nothing's killed him yet, because Carl's worried that, you know, he'll never see Rick again. But fucking Lori's like, well, you know, he didn't die, so he's still good. Carl believes his father is indestructible and that he will always return to him and his mother. He tries to use this faith to reassure his mother that Rick will return to their family. That is true, fucking. Let's see here. Plan of attack. Yeah, fucking Shane didn't even come to help him. It was Daryl, Rick, Glenn, and T-Dog. Fucking. The group must decide what to do first. Release Merle or gather the guns and ammunition. I think, well, I think they did both at the same time, wasn't it? So we have done talking. So this is Shane, just kind of standing there sassy like. Alright, perfect. An increasingly unstable Shane snaps when Ed picks a fight with the woman at the quarry. Oh yeah, because he beats the absolute fuck out of that man. Well, yeah, Ed. Yeah, because Ed was Carol's husband or whatever. Clear a path. So yeah, I think they went for Merle first. Daryl hits his mark, taking down the walkers in the department stores. The survivors make their way to where they left Merle on the roof. Merle's gone. Yeah, Daryl's like, fuck. And fucking T-Dog's like, I left him right there. And they realize he cut off his fucking hand. Uncertain that the group will return for him, Merle escaped the handcuffs, but at a terrible price. Cut off his hand and shit. What the fuck? Yeah, he picked up his hand and shit, and he straight up cut that shit off. The survivors returned to the rooftop for Merle, but by the time they returned, he freed himself and disappeared, leaving only his hand in a trail of blood. Yeah, I forgot how he escaped fully. Like, doesn't he, after he cut off his hand, because, I mean, he comes back in, like, season fucking 2 and 3 and shit, but, doesn't he cut off his fucking hand and then go down the fire escape? Shit, I can't even fucking remember. Follow the corpses. Oh, yeah, because they were still trying to find him and shit. The group tracks Merle in hopes of finding him before he's ripped apart by the walkers. Get the guns. Oh, yeah, because as they pass it, they go for the guns and shit. Glenn and Daryl lead the charge toward the bags of guns, hoping to grab them without attracting too much attention. Because they were both the quiet ones. Don't bring the geeks. During an attempt to recover the bag of guns, Gilmore gangs ambush the rescue party, threatening to cause enough of a commotion to attract nearby walkers. When they can't get to the guns, the gang take Glenn hostage. Oh yeah, because Glenn fucking, Rick fucking blast. Yeah, Rick kills both of them, doesn't he? We need Glenn. Rick needs a plan to rescue Glenn, who is being held hostage in exchange for the bag of guns. Where's my van? Or where's the van? Oh yeah, they stole the damn van, didn't they? After negotiating the release of Glenn, the group returns to their van to find it missing. So they had to walk back, wasn't it? Or find a car. Oh yeah, the calm before the fucking walkers attacked the goddamn camp. Oof, and they were having a fucking party and shit. In a rare moment of reflection, the group gets to know each other while enjoying the fish Andrea and Amy had caught earlier that day. Invasion. It's the walkers. Dun, dun, and that's Andrea right there. Let's see here. The calm of the camp is shattered when the walkers come out of the night to attack. See, that's what I'm saying. If you're up on a mountain like that and they all just come up the fucking mountain at once, you're fucked. There's no way you can get down. There's no... you can't get down. You can't, you're fucked. There's no way for you to get down. And, but if you were to, climb up like a rock, I feel like you'd be good because at least you're up a rock and shit, you know? Happy birthday. Oh, yeah, because she got straight up bit. And there she is screaming in pain. I mean, that shit would be painful as fuck. Yeah, because she got bit. Amy steps out of the safety of the RV to join the group at the campfire when she is suddenly attacked. Oh yeah, because she didn't know that it was happening or nothing. I think that's how they figured it out, wasn't it? And then protect the camp. Carl's like, shit. And then they're all like, oh, we're gonna die. Fucking Rick leaves the group vulnerable when he takes Glenn, T-Dog, and Daryl to Atlanta. Shane instinctively jumps to protect Lori and the others while the walkers evade the camp after dark. Oh, yeah, because, that really wasn't Rick's fault. But at the same time, nobody knew that fucking 55 and a half walkers would pop up the fucking woods and shit. And then Rick got back just in the nick of time. Close call. Fucking, yeah. Rick and the others make it back to camp with the extra firepower just in time to save the camp from being totally overrun by walkers. And I think Amy was the only one that died, wasn't she? Or did I think Ed died too, didn't he? Because he thought Carol was opening the fucking tent because he had just got his ass beaten. He was sulking in it because he was mad. And then he opened it, or the walker opened it one, and fucking it jumped on him and started eating him and shit. Which honestly is kind of what he deserved. I'm gonna be real with you. That motherfucker had it coming. Fucking. But yeah, if you're out there, and this is when he's trying to talk to Morgan and shit. Rick tries to raise Morgan on the radio to warn him away from Atlanta, which has become a death trap. Cracks in the friendship. Yeah, and then Rick's starting to notice that he has a crack in the friendship. Tension grows between Rick and Shane as the two friends continue to disagree on how to protect the group. And then the final set, or the last 21 cards anyway. Hell, I'm surprised they didn't have like as long as a description as most of them, because like hell, usually trading cards have like a long ass description on the back. I mean, hell, y'all have seen it. I've read every fucking one. Fucking, but yeah, I also have some season, what was it, season 4 or season 5? I don't know. I have another set of Walking Dead trading cards, like a complete set as well, that I plan on doing here soon. And I think on the back of that one, they are like the descriptions are long as shit, and they like it'll be a longer video than this one. It'll probably be close to the Walking Dead comic trading cards, like that video length. Hell, it may even be as long as the damn Ninja Turtle one. Who knows? But let's see here. Laying to rest. Yeah, Andrea buried Amy. After losing his wife to the walkers, Del tries to help Andrea deal with the brutal death of her sister, who was killed by the walkers on her birthday. Oh yeah, it was Amy's birthday. Ain't that something? Green-eyed monster, which is Shane. Shane looks down the barrel of his shotgun at the only obstacle standing between him and Lori, which is Rick, and Del watches that shit. Del's like, nah, bro. Look at that face. He's like, nah, bro. You sus as fuck. United Front. Shane, and here's Daryl. Reluctantly, Shane tells the dwindling group that he backs Rick's plan to head to the CDC to find answers, survivors, supplies, or perhaps a cure. I mean, he doesn't want to, but he wants to stay with Lori, so hell, he has to. So here's Andrea, Rick, Del, T-Dog, and Glenn. They really held season 1 together. I ain't gonna lie to you. That and Daryl. Daryl did too. Del tells the group that his crippled RV is finished unless the gas station on the horizon has spare parts that hasn't already been ransacked. Which I think they end up finding, don't they? Is it safe? Yeah, now they arrive at the CDC, and it's like locked up tight and shit. The entrance to the CDC looks like a gruesome war zone, but it is not immediately clear which side won. And that would be the side of the CDC, because the little scientist locks himself the fuck away. Like he fucking hard locks the doors and shit so nothing can get in. And fucking keep moving. And then they cautiously approach the CDC. The survivors pit their way through the corpses to the front door of their last great hope. This is Hope, and then this is the doctor that locked himself up. After the massive CDC doors finally open, the survivors are confronted by a cautious and armed Dr. Jenner. He tells the group once he closes the doors, he cannot open them again, and they're like, yeah, that's cool, bro. But what they didn't realize was he was going to try to fucking blow every fucking one of them up, including himself, because he wanted to commit suicide because he realized there was no fucking hope. Like, he had no fucking hope for a cure or nothing. Sanctuary, so they're all having like a little party and drinking wine. Carl's drinking wine for the first time, and he's like, ew, this is disgusting. Feeling safe and secure for the first time since the apocalypse, the group toasts their host, Dr. Jenner, and he's sitting off to the side like a fucking weirdo and shit. Enhanced internal view, and I think he shows them like the disease and shit right then and there. Yeah, Dr. Jenner uses the advanced technology of the CDC lab to demonstrate to the group what happened to the brain of the subject TS-19 after she was infected by one of the Walking Dead, which the T-19 was his wife. So out of juice, so it's running out of power and shit. So Rick, Shane, T-Dog, and Glenn realize that the generator's, running out of gas. The generators are almost out of gas, leaving the CDC on the verge of a total shutdown, and it does in fact shut down. I thought there'd be more time, but there was not. The last scientist left at the CDC, Dr. Jenner, is out of test samples, out of power, and out of time. The last hope. Yeah, they're all crying and shit because like the countdown starting and it's about to blow that fucking place up. With little time left before the center was self-destruct, Dr. Jenner recounts how the French were the closest to finding a solution, but they too ran out of power. Oh yeah, because since there's no one like manning power stations and shit, like power plants and shit, there's no power left except for like a little bit of generators. Well, that and like Alexandria, but that's only because it was set up to be, like solar power and shit. But we're out of here. They fucking run. The survivors, once desperate to get into the sanctuary of the CDC, are even more desperate to get out now that's become a time bomb. Well enough alone. Oh yeah, I think they ask him. Yeah, they tell him to open the fucking door. They're gonna kill him, and then he was like, "Why?" Yeah, I think he was kind of sassy. He's like, "That'd be stupid because then you won't get out at all." And yeah, once they realized the CDC was self-destruct, Shane and the others fight to escape. We're all done now, and a desperate Shane tries to intimidate Dr. Jenner into opening the doors, which honestly wouldn't work because that motherfucker doesn't accept that he gonna die. His motivation, that's when he tells Rick why he locked it, because Dr. Jenner reveals that subject TS-19 was his wife and the lead CDC researcher. He promised her that he would continue to search for a cure, but his research abilities were limited. And then he tells Rick every fucking body's infected. Like, it doesn't matter how you come back or nothing. Everyone's fucking affected. An open door. Like, if you die, you die, Rick convinces Dr. Jenner to give them the option of choosing life or death. He finally agrees to gives those who want a quick death the chance to stay and those to enter their daily nightmare. Secrets. Yeah, he tells Rick that it does not matter how you die, you will come back. And Dr. Jenner whispers something in Rick's ear as he and the survivors are about to make a run for the CDC before it explodes. Andrea lost hope. She was gonna sit there and blow herself up, like she was gonna die, but she chose not to. After her sister Amy's death, Andrea has lost her will to go on and decides to stay with Dr. Jenner and will die in the CDC. Dell tells her that if she stays, he will stay too, because he didn't give a shit. Make a run for it. This scene was cool as fuck, man. Like they got to the glass and shit, and they couldn't get out at first. And then Carol just happened to have a fucking grenade that Rick had. And she's like, will this work? And Rick's like, yeah. And then blows the fucking window out. Like, that shit's funny as hell. Fucking Rick and Shane clear a path for the others to escape to their vehicles before walkers attack and a time bomb detonates. We choose hope. So Andrea finally, like, last goddamn minute, like, couldn't wait a second longer, really, fucking decides to leave, so her and Dell book it the fuck up out of there. Not wanting the death of Dell to be on her hands, Andrea changes her mind and they escape seconds before the CDC explodes, along with all hopes for a cure. And that was season 1 of The Walking Dead trading cards. The complete base set, because there's probably like rare cards out there and shit. Like, the Walking Dead set I have, other than this one, it has, like, Walker cards and shit. So, like, I know there's probably more out there, without a doubt. But, yeah, I've really been enjoying going through these Walking Dead cards, and yeah, I can't wait to have them on a binder and show all of them off like that. And, yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed. Y'all be safe and y'all have fun. Oh, they fell. But yeah, y'all be safe and y'all have fun, and I will catch you on the next one. See you then.